Hey friend, welcome. If we haven't met yet, I'm Jen. I'm a part-time online clothing reseller, which means I go to thrift stores, I buy used clothes, I list them on eBay and Poshmark and sell them hopefully for a profit. Today, I am shipping out items over a 5-day period that sold while I was out of town. Again, yes. And I still have another trip, honestly, this summer. So it's been a full trip. So I have one item that I'm going to start off with that was like a really bad buy. Really bad. I still made like a little bit of profit on it, but we'll talk about it. My gross sales amount for these 5 days, it was July 11th through 15th, was $291.49. My profit is $155.50. So we can chat about all of these things as I'm shipping. So like I said, this is the very bad buy. These are a pair of Carhartt overalls. They're insulated, quilt lined. The knees are reinforced. Like normally I would be so excited about this, and apparently I was. And honestly, I don't know. Honestly, I think it could have been a better buy. So on Carhartt, they have a tag. It doesn't usually look exactly like this, but in the bottom corner here, it has a number, and this is R03. And it tells me like all about these. These are also union made, which is really cool. And are they made? Well, yeah, they're made in the US. That's dumb. Anyway, I have sold quite a few Carhartt overalls like this for like $100, $75. And so I bought these kind of thinking that was going to be the case. I don't remember if I comped them. And honestly, it's been so long that the comps could have changed since then. So currently, the comps for a Carhartt R03 is $32.31 with a 10% sell-through rate. That's terrible. Now, that could partially be time of year. You know, this is very much like a wintry type thing, like it's heavy. I don't think anybody's gonna wanna wear this in 90-degree weather, which is what it is in most of the US right now. Now, this could be someone who's not in the US. They're not, they're in Georgia. So, you know, I'm not really sure if they're just getting ready for fall and winter, whatever, it doesn't matter. But I'm saying like the sell-through rate could be lower because of the time of year. Not most people in the US aren't buying winter stuff right now. But still, the average sale price is $32.31. I paid $35 for these. That is not good. That's very, very bad. I had them listed for $80. And again, maybe when I bought them and listed them, that was closer to the comps. But someone offered me $50 and I took it because yikes, that's sad. So I mean, $50 is great considering the $32 average sale price. I'm grateful for that. I've had these for 16 months. With fees and my cost of goods, my profit is a whopping $5. Now, I still made money, yes, but I tied up that $35. I also got my $35 back, which is, I think, important to note. But I tied up that $35 for over a year, and I made a whopping $5. So, you know, I feel like that wasn't a great return on my investment as far as time and money. It took up a lot of space for that 16 months. It was just, if I had found these for $5 or $10, maybe that would have been a better choice. And again, I don't remember what the comps were when I bought it, but there it is. There it is. All right. This is a dress that is huge. All right. It's so fun. Okay. I've actually showed this in a haul. I did a haul with things that I bought. I found like a half off dress sale at a Franciscan thrift in the city about an hour away from me. So this has like a high, low, big, giant ruffle. It's really hard to see, but these ruffle sleeves. It's cut out in the back with like a cross tie across the back, plunging neckline. All right, the brand is not really a brand, but it's called Making the Cut, which apparently it does have tags, which is nice. Making the Cut apparently is like one of those reality shows where they design clothes. And so this was something that one of the designers made.
Mom?
And yeah, what's up, kiddo?
You have too many items.
I do.
How many items?
I have 10 items.
Oh. Okay. Well, enjoy this video. If it's too long, leave.
Leave?
Emoji.
I don't know what that was about. You're goofy. All right, so Making the Cut dresses have an average sale price of $24.86 with a 5% sell-through rate, which is even lower than the Carhartt thing. But I only paid $5 for this dress. It was half off of 10, and it sold for $35. I did have it listed kind of high. I had to go through like all the styles when I was listing it and try and kind of narrow it down. And so I did, based on like the size and the color and I already said the size, color, style, and then also the fact that it was new with tags. I did list it higher. Somebody offered me $35, and actually they started really low. They started at like, I want to say 20 or 25, and we kind of went back and forth. And then I checked comps again, and I was like, I'm gonna accept 35. I'm happy to do that. So $35 with fees and my cost of goods. Both of these sold on Poshmark, by the way. I don't think I said that. With fees and my cost of goods, my profit on this is $23, and this one only took 3 months to sell, which is much more reasonable. I would much rather turn $5 into 23 in 3 months. You know, I don't know. Okay. I found that it seems like, I'll get there. It seems like I sold more items on Poshmark while I was on this trip. And I think the last trip I took, I put my Poshmark and my Depop stores on vacation mode also. And you can't even accept, like, you can't sell things when you're on vacation mode on those. With eBay, if it's under 15 days, you can choose to either accept or not accept sales while you're gone. And I always choose to accept sales. But I think because I didn't put Poshmark on vacation mode, but I did put eBay on vacation mode, it just, I sold more on Poshmark than I did on eBay. This is another dress. I actually have like a lot of dresses in this. Really fun little floral, kind of florally print that has like almost like a Scandinavian type, like, I don't know. Maybe Scandinavian isn't the right. Oh, we're showing it to you backwards. This tie little thing is on the back. The brand is Bowden, and this is a dress that I got at the bins. So I just did a very basic Bowden dress search. That was it. Because I just did that. There's no reason. Okay, the average sale price for a Bowden dress is $26.62 with a 16% sell-through rate. I had mine listed at $40, and again, based on style, size, color, pattern, all of those things when I listed it. I think it's just, for me, it takes a lot of time to do that research, and so I'm willing to do it when I'm listing, but I don't keep that information, and so I just don't research all of that information when I'm doing these videos because I try to do things pretty quickly. Sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. I just texted my husband and I was like, why does everything take me 7 times longer than I think it should? Anyway, regardless. This sold for $32. I had it listed for $40 and I send out 20% off offers on Poshmark using Prime Lister. And that's also how I share my listings. And I bought this at the bins 3 months ago. And so at the bins, my average cost of goods is $2. That's what I say it is. And then my profit becomes $23.60, which is great. I like to use these tie-back mailers on Poshmark most of the time. The dress, the big dress, and the Carhartt went into a number 7 box. And those just come free on USPS.com, which is great. These are a pair of Torrid jeans, and Torrid is one of like my favorite bread and butter brands. And I feel like this like exactly sums up why. So bread and butter, I think, mean when I first started reselling, I was like, what do all these terms mean? And then now I say them so just like frequently, and I'm like, I always wonder, like, is it bothering anyone else? Do you know what I'm talking about? So I try to explain a lot, and then I realize like there's some people who've been watching videos like me probably for a year or 3 years or how, I don't know, 45 years, I don't know, not that long. eBay or YouTube's not that old, but anyway. Sorry, these are, I wanted to show you, the Lean Jean Slim Boot Super Soft. So I put all of that in. It does have an elastic waist, which is fantastic. Torrid is a plus size brand that, like I said, is one of my bread and butter brands. So for me, bread and butter means I'm gonna hit close to my profit goal, which is about $15 per item, just to value my time, because it takes time to do all this stuff. And then we'll hopefully sell in, I don't have like an exact time in mind, but like within like a year. I'm real happy if things sell in like 3 months. I mean, I'm ecstatic when they sell faster than that. That doesn't happen very often, but this sold in 2.5 months and my profit is $15.60. Now, I kind of told you all that backwards, but I'm just saying like that is exactly like a prime example of why Torrid is one of my favorite bread and butter brands, because it did that for me. So anyway, the Torrid jeans slim boot have an average sale price of $17.96 with a 15% sell-through rate. Mine sold for $22 on Poshmark. Like I said, I've had them for 2.5 months. Hold on, just give me just a second. I bought them again at the bins, so a cost of goods of $2, and my profit, like I already said, is $15.60 in 2.5 months. Yes, my dearest, darlingest daughter. What's up?
I need a friend.
You've got a friend.
No, I know.
I know.
When is she gonna answer?
I don't know, honey.
Can you pause the video?
I can pause this. This is so cute. I mean, these are some amazing puff sleeves with like this, I don't know, is it crochet? It's a ribbed top. The brand is THML, which I believe is a boutique brand. And then somebody told me it was a Anthropologie brand, but the RN number does not suggest that. So yeah, anyway, I have another shirt kind of similar to this but different, same brand, and it hasn't sold, but this one sold in 7 days. So THML top with puff sleeve, that's all I searched, was the average sale price was $21.47 with a 16% sell-through rate. Mine sold for $20 on Poshmark, and it sold in 7 days, which I thought was incredible. I was not expecting that at all. with such a low sell-through rate on eBay. When I check comps, I always check on eBay because that's where I list first and then I cross-list from eBay. And it's just easier for me. I use the eBay product research tool. And so it may sound weird that I'm giving you eBay comps when I sold on Poshmark, but that's just how I do comps. So it's harder to figure out like sell-through rate on Poshmark as well. Anyway, sold for $7 or $20 in 7 days. Oh, I have zero cost of goods on this. I had some friends last year who knew I resell, who knew I resell. There we go. And they had a garage sale last year and asked me if I wanted to do like a consignment deal. So I went over before the garage sale, picked out some stuff and said, hey, I'll do the consignment sale. Here would be like my terms. I don't really love doing consignment, but it's okay. When it's friends, I'm okay with it. And so I said, or I'll just buy all this outright for like $3 a piece. And so that we did that. And I sold quite a bit of their things. She has like impeccable style. She looks amazing all the time. And this year they texted me and they were like, hey, we're having the garage sale like right now. Do you want to come over? And I was like, oh, shoot, I couldn't. I was leaving the next day. I just wasn't able to. And I was like, hey, what are you planning on doing with all your stuff afterwards? And they were like, oh, we're just going to drop it at Goodwill. And I was like, do you want to drop it at my house instead? And they said yes. And so I ended up with some free inventory from them, which was really great. So my profit on that is $16 because of zero cost of goods. Another bins item. This is a pair of denim short overalls. They are the brand Lindsay Stevens, which when I looked up that particular brand, I can't find it. There it is. When I looked up that particular brand, there was 100% sell-through rate, but it was only mine. So Lindsay Stevens, I don't know what that brand is exactly, but these are Maternity. And so Maternity denim shortalls have an average sale price of $13.79 with a 21% sell-through rate, which I think is, I mean, pretty decent when you see, some of these items that sell with like a 5% or a 10% sell-through rate. 21 sounds pretty good to me. I aim for like 25, 30, 35 if I'm comping and stuff, but I don't remember if I comp these or not. Honestly, I like to have some maternity stuff because every once in a while I'll have a friend that ends up pregnant and I'm like, hey, I have some maternity stuff. Do you want it? And I just, give it to them or loan it to them sometimes. I don't know. I just know like when you get pregnant and then you have to buy all new clothes and it feels so overwhelming sometimes. Anyway, did I do that right? I did that right. Okay. These sold for $17.46 on eBay. So with shipping, they paid a total of $24.31. On eBay, I had everything on vacation mode. And usually when I put things on vacation mode, so it like gives you a notification like, hey, this seller is away on vacation and this won't ship until such and such date. And I feel like sometimes that deters buyers. But what I also do almost every time that I put my store on vacation mode is I put a pretty significant sale on as well. So all of my eBay store was on a 30% off sale. I do usually have a coupon on my store for 15% off, and I took that off. I did not want to double do the discount because you can stack a sale and a coupon. You cannot stack an offer and a coupon. I know that. I don't know if you can use two coupons at once. All right, anyway, these sold in a month. I bought them at the bins with fees, shipping, and my cost of goods. My profit is $12.04. These did sell promoted, so I paid an extra 77 cents in fees. I'll talk a little bit more about promotions in a minute. This is a vest. I used the term waistcoat with this as well. It is J. Crew and it's 100% linen. I do think it shrunk a bit. So I make sure, I actually, on all of my listings, I would say 97% of my listings, I do measurements. I just take the picture of, I use a yardstick and I just take a picture of the measurement and include that picture in the listing. And it makes it pretty simple when I'm doing those, so I like it. Anyway, J. Crew linen vest has, for women, has an average sale price of $17.27 with an 18% sell-through rate. Mine's within 6 weeks, which is crazy. I'm really thankful. It sold for $17.46, so right at that average. And with shipping, they paid $23.07. I bought this again at the bins. Did all of these things come from the bins? Almost everything so far, except the Carhartt, right? And I know that came from the bins. I think that did not. I think 8 out of these 10 items came from the bins. That's crazy. I need to go back to the bins. I just, on this last trip that we were on, I was in Roanoke and somebody was like, I did a little haul video in Roanoke, Virginia. There's more than one Roanoke in the US. Anyway, somebody said there was a bins location there and I didn't know. And so I was back home and looked it up. Thankfully, it was like way on the other side of where I was staying. So I don't know that I would have gone anyway, but I don't know, maybe I would have if I had known. I feel like I went on that same trip 2 years ago and I feel like somebody told me then also that there was a bins location. I should just start with bin, like Google outlet bins locations in the area instead of just thrift stores, which is usually what I look up. Okay. My profit's $12.93 on that. $2 bins cost, 6 weeks it was sold. It sold for $17.46 plus shipping. Okay, did I say all those things? This I also found at the bins. So this is why I do like a average cost of goods at the bins, because this, you know, is obviously lighter than this. And for me to like go through and figure out what it actually costs, I don't think I ever said the bins is the Goodwill outlet where you pay by the pound. And so something that's heavier is going to cost more money. If something's like blatantly like a big coat or something, I will say my cost of goods is higher. And if it's real small, usually like baby clothes or like a hat or something, I'll say my cost of goods is lower. And let's see, this is a dress. This is like a bridesmaid's dress. It has pockets, which is super fun. This is Birdie Gray. And I remembered hearing that name. And when I saw it, I was like, okay, I'll look that up. And I actually don't remember if I looked it up because it was new with tags. And when I go to the bins, I just like to, you know, save things from the landfill. So especially new with tags items. So I may have not looked it up, but the wonderful thing about it being new with tags is it has the style name directly on that. So it was easy for me to list. I didn't have to like try and figure out the style name and the, you know, the exact color. It told me the color and all of that, which was really, really nice. I don't know that I've ever sold a bridesmaid's dress before. It's just not something that I really look for. I like to sell dresses in general, but I don't know about bridesmaids dresses. Anyway, the Birdie Gray Kaya dress has an average sale price of $37.54 with a 12% sell-through rate. And mine sold for $35.97. So this is the weird thing that happened. It sold for $34.97 plus shipping on eBay. And then later that day, it sold for $40 on Poshmark. I didn't just list it. Like I had listed it over a month ago. So I had to cancel the Poshmark sale, unfortunately, because it did sell for more on Poshmark, which is kind of a bummer. But Anyway, with shipping, they paid $43.33. Like I said, I got this at the bins for $2. Sold in a month, and my profit is $27.57. I love that. Love a higher profit from the bins. That's great. I'm getting tired. Travel just wears me out. I love it. I love to travel, but it was, if you're curious, we were away on a business trip with my husband. He had a conference to go to, actually two. We went to South Carolina for like a day and a half, and then we drove to Roanoke, Virginia, and we live in Indiana, so it was a lot of driving, but me and my two little kids went. It was great. We had a lot of fun. There's this place called Mill Mountain in Roanoke, Virginia, and it's like, it's just wonderful. It's like this great park, and there's gardens, and there's a little zoo up there that's really cute. Anyway, this is an LL Bean dress. This is like a jersey knit knee-length t-shirt dress. I looked up LL Bean t-shirt dress knee-length. The average sale price is $18.48 with a 6% sell-through rate. Crazy. Crazy low. Anyway, mine sold for $15 plus shipping, which was, they paid $22.49. Again, this came from the bin, so an average cost of goods of $2, and it took 4 months to sell, which is amazing considering a 6% sell-through rate. My profit is $10.58. LL Bean is like a really good quality brand, but unless it's like outerwear or really cool vintage, I don't think it has a great sell-through rate. And even sometimes the outerwear I'm really surprised at, because it's really good quality. Okay, I said I was going to talk about promotions again, but it turns out that nothing else was promoted. So I'll go ahead and tell you that I do promote my items on eBay. It's usually somewhere between 3 and 5%, and I just mess with it occasionally and change it up. And I think currently I'm just promoting at 3%. So not a lot. All right, this is a vintage sweater, which is one of my favorite things to buy, or to sell rather. This has kind of a geometric print on it. The brand is Le Tigre, which always makes me think of Zoolander, which is like the dumbest movie in the world. Anyway, this one is made in the US. It's an extra large. So I looked up Le Tigre vintage sweater geometric crew neck. The average sale price was $14.97 with a 4% sell-through rate. I took out the Le Tigre because I don't think that in vintage sweaters like this, most of the brands don't matter. Sometimes they really do, but most of the time, no. So that made the average sale price $39.08, but still just with a 4% sell-through rate. And again, I think that low sell-through rate has more to do with the time of year. However, I do sell these in the fall and winter, and the sell-through rate is still not super high. But that like shape, that boxy shape, a geometric print, and a crew neck, and if it's made in the USA, that's even better. That sold really, really well for me last year. Does that mean it's going to sell well this year? And I still have a lot of them, so hopefully they'll still be in style. This sold for $12 plus shipping on eBay. They paid a total of $19.29. Okay, so somebody sent me an offer for that. I have these listed. Usually like this style is listed around $40. This one was only listed at $30. So I had it listed at $30, and somebody offered me $12, and I checked two things. One, how long I had it, and two, how much I paid for it, because I know with this style sometimes I'll pay a little more, and I didn't want to pay like $5 and only sell it for $12. But I only paid 67 cents for it, so that's okay. And I bought it in December of 2023, and I about 14 months ago like relisted a bunch of sweaters. My profit's $9.18. Oh, that's rough. But you know what? It's an extra $9 and I'll take it. That's okay with me. So, you know, a total profit of $155. Yeah, $155.50 over 5 days is not awful. It's extra money, which is great. I'll take it. You know, thankfully I do this part-time. This is not paying my family's bills. This is not feeding my family. It's not paying my mortgage. This is extra money for our family. It is helpful and important money for our family. It's how we pay for dance class and traveling and, you know, things like that. So, the last few months have been a little bit lower, and you know, a big part of it is my fault because I just keep traveling. But also, I was talking to my husband about this last night, and it's a really big bonus for us, right? Like we can go on trips, and you know, certainly if I had a part-time job, I could take off time, but I don't know that a job would allow me to take off most of June and July and a little bit in August. And certainly I wouldn't get paid for those hours that I would be missing, because any part-time job that I would have outside of my home would be hourly. It wouldn't be salary. So I still wouldn't be getting paid anyway. So for me, this has just been a really good situation for our family, a good part-time job for me, for our family, because it really does fit into my life. I enjoy it, and it just gives me a lot of flexibility. And yeah, maybe I make less in some months, but you know, September and October are coming, and I've got a lot of sweaters and coats in here. So hopefully those larger sales months will make up for these smaller sales months. Right? All right.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Question for the day.
Question of the day. We've been doing would you rather summer themed. Do you have a would you rather summer themed?
Would you rather be in a hot tub in the summer or be in a pool in the winter?
Oh, would you rather be in the hot tub in the summer or in a cold pool in the winter?
I'm gonna choose hot tub because I'd rather be hot than cold.
You'd rather be hot than cold. I usually say that same thing too. So, what about you, bud? Do you have an answer?
Hot.
Hot? All right. All right, let us know in the comments, weigh in if you have an opinion, or if you don't, you know, just say hi. That'd be great too. Make sure you like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate you. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.